Phobias come in many forms: fear of heights, tight spaces, and even spiders. But there's one fear that often goes unnoticed, affecting an estimated 5 to 10% of people in the US: thalassophobia, an intense fear of deep bodies of water, from vast oceans to seemingly endless lakes. For those who experience it, the mere thought of the open sea can trigger an overwhelming sense of dread. But what is it about deep water that makes it so terrifying? Is it the unfathomable depth, the eerie silence, the endless unknown lurking below? While all of these contribute to the fear, nothing fuels it quite like the chilling conspiracy theories that have emerged over time. Today, we're diving into 5 of the most unsettling, bone-chilling, and eerie theories about the deep waters that cover most of our planet. Number 5. Mermaids are real and being covered up. The origins of mermaid myths are shrouded in mystery, but one of the earliest known stories comes from ancient Assyria, around 1000 BC. According to legend, the goddess Atargatis fell in love with a mortal shepherd, a forbidden affair that resulted in the birth of their daughter. In a tragic turn, Atargatis accidentally killed him. Overcome with grief and shame, she threw herself into a lake, seeking death. But instead of allowing her to perish, the waters transformed her into a half-woman, half-fish creature, giving birth to the legend of the mermaid. Fast forward to 1493, and we find what is considered the earliest modern recorded mermaid sighting by none other than Christopher Columbus. While sailing off the coast of Hispaniola, he wrote in his logbook about seeing 3 female forms rising from the water, though he noted they were not as beautiful as they are represented. This suggests that even in Columbus's time, the folklore surrounding mermaids was widely known. Of course, skepticism surrounds his account. Many historians and scientists believe that what Columbus actually saw were manatees, marine mammals often mistaken for mermaids throughout history. Even John Smith, the English explorer known for settling Jamestown, recorded a similar sighting off the coast of Newfoundland in 1614. Yet mermaid sightings persist even to this day. Some believe these creatures exist, but are deliberately hidden by the government, much like the long-standing secrecy surrounding UFOs. After decades of denial, authorities are now acknowledging the possibility that we aren't alone in the universe. So who's to say what else they've kept from us? What do you think? Could mermaids be real? Or are they just another legend lost to time? Number 4. Secret alien bases are in the ocean. Speaking of aliens, UFOs have been one of the most talked about phenomenons in history, with the first sighting being reported in 1947 by Kenneth Arnold, who swore he saw objects moving at high speeds near Mount Rainier. The exact number of reported sightings in the almost 8 decades of the UFO's first encounter is impossible to determine, but between 1947 and 1969, the U.S. Air Force Project Blue Book invested 12,618 reported sightings, of which 701 remain unidentified. This only means one thing: majority of reported sightings may be explainable. But what about the ones that aren't? What could be out there in the skies that no members of these teams could identify? To lengthen the evidence, the National UFO Reporting Center has cataloged over 105,000 sightings in the U.S. since its establishment as of 2023, with another 15,000 to add to the list in Canada since 1989, approximately 3,146 in the United Kingdom, and around 5,000 in France. These numbers are concerning to say the least. Either we have thousands of clout chasers, or something's truly going on here. Recent years have seen an increase in reports. From May 2023 to June 2024, the Pentagon received 757 new cases of unidentified aerial phenomena, with 444 remaining unexplained due to insufficient data. Now you might be thinking, what does any of this have to do with the ocean? I'm glad you thought that. The idea that aliens have bases in the ocean is a newly thought of conspiracy theory that gained a lot of traction once Congressman Tim Burchett suggested that alien life might be hiding in Earth's oceans. Furthermore, there have been sightings of UFOs within deep bodies of water. In the 1970s to 1980s, Soviet-era documents reveal that nuclear submarines often detected high-speed underwater objects. These objects moved at over 230 knots, far beyond human capabilities. Some reports suggest encounters with humanoid beings in deep water, described by Russian divers as swimming humanoids in silvery suits. In 2011, a sonar scan detected a massive disc-shaped structure at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. The object resembled the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars, fueling theories that it was an ancient alien craft. Some scientists suggest it's a natural rock formation, but its unusual electromagnetic properties remain unexplained. UFO sightings and alleged alien activity on the Solomon Islands have been reported mainly in the 20th and 21st centuries, with a particular concentration during World War II and the early 2000s. In the 1940s, many soldiers from the US and Japanese forces reported strange aerial crafts in the skies over the Solomon Islands. In the 1990s to the early 2000s, a researcher named Marius Boy-Rayon, who lived in the Solomon Islands, documented numerous accounts from locals regarding underground alien bases and UFO activity. Locals described a large glowing craft emerging from mountains and diving into the ocean. In 2006, reports surfaced that extraterrestrial beings might be living in underground caves and underwater bases near the islands. Witnesses claimed to have seen a large spacecraft rising from the sea and disappearing into the sky. With all of these encounters, supposedly documented sightings and reports, one may ask, how can you even begin to deny the existence of aliens taking shelter in our oceans? The answer is simple. Most people won't believe anything until they see it. Whether it's true or not, it surely makes for an unsettling theory. Number 3. The ocean is hiding a lost time capsule from an advanced ancient civilization. The theory that the ocean hides a lost time capsule from an advanced ancient civilization is rooted in the idea that Earth's past civilizations were far more technologically advanced than mainstream history acknowledges. According to this theory, remnants of these civilizations may still exist deep in the ocean, preserved in a kind of time capsule, waiting to be discovered. The idea that the ocean may be hiding a lost time capsule from an advanced ancient civilization does not have a single originator, but it has evolved over time through various theories proposed by scientists, explorers, and alternative historians. However, several key figures have contributed significantly to this idea. The Yonaguni Monument, a massive submerged stone structure off the coast of Japan, believed to be over 10,000 years old. Some argue it's a man-made structure from a lost civilization, while others claim it's a natural formation. The Baltic Sea anomaly, which we covered earlier in the alien portion of this video, a sonar image of a strange, disc-shaped object lying deep on the ocean floor. Resembling a spaceship or ancient ruin, it has unexplained electromagnetic properties. Cuba's underwater city in 2001. Sonar scans detected large stone structures resembling pyramids off the coast of Cuba, at a depth of about 2,000 feet. Scientists speculate it could be remnants of an ancient city submerged thousands of years ago. Proponents argue that advanced ancient civilizations, possibly predating the last ice age, around 12,000 years ago, flourished and then vanished due to cataclysmic events. Theorists often cite Atlantis, Lemuria, and other lost continents as examples of highly sophisticated societies that were wiped out by global floods, pole shifts, or asteroid impacts. If such civilizations had advanced technology, some of their knowledge might have been stored in underwater vaults or time capsules. Since over 80% of the ocean remains unexplored, it could be the perfect location to hide ancient artifacts, structures, or even entire cities. Deep-sea trenches, submerged caves, and oceanic rifts might preserve ancient structures from erosion, looting, or destruction. Plato was the first recorded person to describe Atlantis, a highly advanced civilization that supposedly sank into the ocean around 9,600 BCE due to a catastrophic event. His dialogues Timaeus and Critias describe Atlantis as a powerful civilization that vanished beneath the waves, leading to speculation that its artifacts, knowledge, or even entire cities could still be hidden in the ocean. Many later theorists linked Atlantis to the idea of a lost time capsule, believing that remnants of its knowledge might be preserved underwater. With all of this information given, it's still up to your personal judgment and/or faith. to determine whether you believe the ocean could be hiding time capsules filled with life-changing information. What do you think? Number 2. The megalodon still exists. Despite being considered extinct for millions of years, conspiracy theorists argue that the megalodon is alive and lurking in deep, unexplored waters. Some point to strange sonar readings and alleged sightings as proof. The conspiracy theory that the megalodon or Otodus megalodon is still alive first gained mainstream attention in the late 20th century, though speculation about its survival dates back much earlier. Let's take a look at some claims that fueled one of the most talked about conspiracies in pop culture history. In the 1870s to 1900s, some fossilized megalodon teeth were found with relatively young dating estimates, 10,000 to 100,000 years old instead of millions, leading to early speculation that the species may have survived into modern times. In the 1920s to 1930s, reports surfaced of huge shark sightings, some claiming creatures 40 to 60 feet long, fueling rumors of megalodon survival. This around the time where the theories begin to take shape. In 1954, a South African fishing boat crew reported being chased by a giant white shark, far larger than any known species. In 1963, a U.S. Navy deep-sea submersible recorded a huge sonar reading at over 6,000 feet deep, speculated by some to be a megalodon. In 1976, the discovery of the megamouth shark, or Megachasma pelagios, a large deep-sea shark previously unknown to science, reinforced the idea that massive undiscovered sharks could still exist. Leading into the 2000s is when these theories really started to grow. In 1993, the release of Jurassic Park reignited public interest in the idea of prehistoric creatures surviving in the modern era. In 1995, Steve Alten's novel, Meg, a novel of deep terror, popularized the idea of a living megalodon, describing it as a deep-sea predator lurking in the Mariana Trench. In the 2000s, internet forums, conspiracy theories, and cryptozoology websites spread the idea that megalodon could still exist, often citing deep-sea trenches and uncharted ocean zones as possible hiding places. In 2014, all the way up to present day, YouTube, TikTok, and other social media platforms have fueled new megalodon conspiracy videos, often showing misidentified large sharks, CGI, or hoaxes. In 2018, the release of the movie The Meg, based on Steve Alten's novel, rekindled public fascination with the idea. In 2022 to 2023, a few viral social media clips claimed to show megalodon-like shadows beneath boats, but most were debunked as whale sharks or digitally altered. People seem to think the possibility of the megalodon's survival is valid because the facts leave room for many theories. The ocean is vastly unexplored. Over 80% of the ocean remains unmapped, leaving room for speculation. Deep-sea creatures are still being discovered. Giant squids and deep-sea sharks were once thought extinct, but were later found. Misidentified large sharks, gigantic great whites, basking sharks, and whale sharks are often mistaken for megalodons. This leaves one simple question: is the megalodon still alive? Here's the cold, hard truth for believers out there. No scientific evidence supports its survival. Megalodon thrived in warm, shallow waters, which disappeared with climate changes 3.6 million years ago. No recent megalodon teeth have been found. If it were alive, fresh teeth, which sharks frequently shed, would have been discovered. Deep-sea survival is unlikely. Megalodon relied on warm coastal ecosystems, not deep-sea environments. However, even with these facts comes contradiction. If Megalodon thrived in warm, shallow waters that changed over 3.5 million years ago, then how were teeth from a Megalodon as young as 10,000 years old found fossilized between 1870 and the early 1900s? I'll leave that for you to decide and debate in the comments below. Number 1. The ocean is a gateway to another dimension. The topics in this video haven't been ranked based on my personal beliefs, but by how genuinely interesting they are. This takes the place of number 1 being the coolest conspiracy theory yet. We've stated already that the oceans on our planet are largely unexplored. So, the only thing that should stop you from an open mind is how real of a possibility they seem to you. But how possible is it really that there are gateways deep in the ocean that we may never even get to experience? The idea that the ocean is a gateway to another dimension is a fringe conspiracy theory that blends elements of science fiction, paranormal beliefs, and deep-sea mysteries. While there's no scientific evidence to support it, the theory has gained traction among certain internet communities. Some believe that certain deep-sea trenches, such as the Mariana Trench, contain naturally occurring portals or rifts in space and time that lead to other dimensions. These portals are theorized to be used by extraterrestrial or interdimensional beings to travel between realms. Another supporting theory is one that's been talked about before: USOs. Unlike UFOs, USOs are unidentified objects observed moving underwater at speeds or in ways that defy physics. Some suggest that these are craft entering or exiting the ocean through dimensional rifts. In 1967, the Shag Harbor incident sent chills down the spines of many. Taking place in Nova Scotia, Canada, multiple residents, Royal Canadian Mounted Police and military personnel described similar sightings of a glowing object crashing into the water and floating briefly before submerging. Military divers were dispatched, but found no debris or wreckage. The Canadian government officially classified it as an unidentified flying object, making it one of the most documented USO incidents. Taking things to a much recent date, back in 2019, the USS Omaha Sphere incident occurred. These descriptions were given by many different U.S. Navy crew aboard the USS Omaha near San Diego, California. A spherical metallic object was observed moving over the ocean before vanishing underwater. Radar footage showed the object traveling at speeds of up to 158 miles per hour. The U.S. Navy released infrared footage of the event, and no wreckage was found. Deep-sea anomalies such as the bloop, a mysterious underwater sound recorded in 1997, and strange marine bioluminescence are sometimes cited as evidence of interdimensional activity. However, for many years the recorded audio was thought to belong to a really large sea creature given the sheer volume. Some conspiracists even claim that world governments, particularly the U.S. Navy, have knowledge of oceanic portals and actively study or conceal them. Naval bases near deep-sea trenches, such as the one near Puerto Rico, are cited as suspicious locations. With all of that being said, the lack of concrete evidence suggests these ideas are largely speculative. Many mysterious disappearances in places like the Bermuda Triangle have logical explanations involving weather, currents, and human error. Scientists studying deep-sea phenomena find fascinating life forms, but no signs of interdimensional activity. However, one must wonder what the additional 80% of our undiscovered oceans must hold in secrecy. Regardless, you decide what you believe in.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us here today to talk about some of the coolest, and depending on your definition, most mind-challenging conspiracy theories about our oceans. We hope you enjoyed diving into these as much as we have. No pun intended. Comment down below your favorite theory from this video, your favorite oceanic theory of all time, and leave a like. Share this video to a friend or family member and subscribe to the channel, hitting the bell in the process to be notified whenever another top 5 video hits the internet. And we'll see you in the next video. Be blessed and have a great day.